There are products that if you don't have the numbers, then you're not going to break even with that product. Now,
Um,
because they, what can I call it? They involve a lot of capital injection. Like you need to put in a lot of money.
okay, one thing, um, one challenge, in fact, we in our time are facing is the part where we did not see certain things start. You know, when we were when we were still in school, if you went to some of these modern ones, people usually had a very interesting joke. They said the challenge we have these days is that we even have children who think mangoes are grown in a fridge.
Oh yeah, that cow meat comes from the fridge.
Exactly, because that is what they saw in the first place. That fish comes from a fridge. But our forerunners, our fathers, our grandparents, they went fishing. So they went fishing, they got the fish, and they brought it to the table. So for them,
So they did the handiwork.
even when they were, yes. In fact, I had a friend who thought watermelons grew on a tree and cabbages.
Okay.
that was so
Like
shocking for
mangoes
me.
and-
I had seen a little bit because in school we had these school gardens. So I was active in the garden and we tried to grow things here and there. But I was shocked. I was in secondary school and someone told me a cabbage tree.
Can you imagine a cabbage
Exactly.
dangling on?
So that's the challenge. That's one of the contributors to the way we think these days. The
In
challenge.
other words,
People did not see.
exposure.
Not really. It's not exposure. Because many companies, many industries started a long time ago that right now they are mature enough for everyone to think, to start, you need to start big. Let me say you plan to start soap. You know soap, there was a time.
Yeah,
Now
big
there's also
players
some
who
other
have
person.
already run so far ahead.
Yes, they've run so far ahead, they've started wrapping every bar. Now there was a time, in fact there was a time when soap was sold plain.
Oh yeah, I remember.
A
this
bar of
time.
soap was sold plain.
You just cut it with
Stack
the
them,
knife.
put them in a box. But now every bar has Kavera on it.
Exclusive packaging.
Exactly for every. In fact, it's worse for the straws. Every straw has its own wrap. There was a time when straws did not have wraps.
Just bring it in a tin and.
No, they were just bigger bags. So when you went to a function, you know those days when soda was still fancy,
Yes,
they do that thing for you, then you pick your own straw.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But now the straws have, because now if you want to think of starting a straw company
You need to
and starting it small,
keep up with the standards.
yes, you need to start with the new standards. So yes, that's a challenge, but no, I don't think it's an excuse for someone to say, I cannot do straws because I don't have the machine that puts a wrap on every straw.
So
In fact,
that
it's
case-
unimaginable unless you've seen it.
So in that case, what will the person do? The industry is far ahead of me.
No,
What would
that
you
is
do?
exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
That the day you ask yourself that question
Yes.
is the day I want you to think that everything starts small.
So you expect me to start small, for example, in the straw business. How will I survive? That means I'm going to be giving low standard products to people. That means I'm already kicked out.
Yeah, I told you it's a challenge. You know when something is a challenge, you now have to think of. You just keep thinking. But in your small size, I still think someone can survive. You know, usually it's part of the reactions. Now, for instance, in the soap industry, because people were teaching how to make the bar soap, and these days people make bar soaps in their backyards.
Yeah, true.
But because people were teaching how to make bus stops, these people were very wise, the big players. Because
They had to go and watch
very
higher,
huge companies were relying on just a bus stop that now a common person would make. With 100,000 shillings, you can start making soap.
So the knowledge was out there.
The knowledge is out there, so you have to come up with something that differentiates the big from the small. That's why they came up with that cover.
So they
And
needed to raise their game, be a
Yes.
notch higher.
That was the move.
Again, push the small players. Right?
So now the small players, now there is a difference. If you don't have a wrap, you're here. If you have a wrap, you're
Out there.
in the other group. So that becomes your hurdle.
So in other words, it's okay for me to squeeze my below standard product somewhere below the
You know these,
below the stack, and I try my luck.
and you can still survive, yes.
Really?
As long as you get it in your head that you can start small, you start in small, and small can survive. Because one thing I keep mentioning is someone cannot, one player cannot reach out to everyone. There is always room.
That is true.
There is always that person you can approach. In fact, one good example I'll make is with the soap industry, still cosmetics. Now I'm looking at people who make soap for skin. This soap removes all those rashes you had in your village.
Medicated soap. And
Yes, medicated soaps. You know, people have really weird diseases from the villages. Orusoro, Orumu, ringworms, everything.
Yes.
So there are people these days who are making soaps whose recipes were their grandparents.
Oh yeah, that is true.
But my grandfather was very good at healing skin diseases, but he used a combination of this and this. So you make that your secret,
You package it.
compile it, and put it in the ingredients that make soap. So when someone uses it, they can see the difference. So actually, it has already happened.
Oh yeah.
This is your answer to some companies are too big,
Okay.
smaller people cannot survive.
So now, like the herbal industry.
So what happened exactly?
Yes.
What happened was there are people who are boxing soap, putting it in boxes, Cabera, very nice looking brands, and they were selling to all those people who go to supermarkets, who go to big shops, who go to the internet. But then there was the bigger population. In fact, these days, it's what people call abantu bawansi.
Oh,
Yes. So there was that group that you could approach, and they give you something for your product, regardless of what it looks like. As long as you can convince them, it has a result.
but it can help them solve their problem.
Yes, because this other medicated soap was just fancy. People were using it, and these skin diseases were not going away. So instead of going to hospital, we saw people using normal brands or local brands too. So actually what happened was, someone comes to you, very lousy box, they cannot compete with the big players, but he has come to solve your problem uniquely.
So in that case, is that person building a brand as per your theory, or is just in it for the money?
It's a good thing, it's a good way to start
Okay.
and be part of the big batch later. I'm just saying that everyone can still make soap these days, and we've seen it pass. Because you challenged me with the straw. We haven't seen it with the straws, but we are seeing it with
The soaps.
soap, with cosmetics. In fact, what I liked about the soap was there were even those people who did not come to you. They told you to get to them. They opened up different outlets in different regions. Then they went to TV and said, "No, you find us on this show." And they make the sales at that spot make them so busy. They don't even find the need to go out. So their model is open a different shop, call people to that shop, give them something your grandfather gave you.
And distribute your product.
You don't even need to distribute, they just keep coming. Because when their product gets done, they don't need to go to the supermarket. They come back to you.
At what point can I say that this industry is now saturated? I can't make an entrance. Is that
You
even
cannot
like
say that because even big players can choose to drop out of business. Even big players get weak. There are times when you see a brand knocking itself out. They seem too big to fall. By the time a situation comes, probably the number one passes on. And because he probably had not prepared for the passing on, the people who remain in business find it really hard to keep playing. So they also weaken and they fall out.
So whatever.
So a lot of things happen.
Go for that product.
Anywhere someone wishes to go, as long as you think your vision is there. You can be the big brand tomorrow, and you can always start small amidst anything.